make out of that game, but I think the offense certainly looked like it was moving like you would expect with this better weather.
Yeah, we sloppy 6-run win. You know, it's tough to scoff at winning by 6, but that game was a lot closer than that. There was a lot of different momentum shifts within that game. You know, we were, in my mind, a little sloppy, top to bottom. Gave up a lot of 2-out base runners, just not a lot of 2-out concentration there from the pitching staff, and you know, we had a chance to really bust it open a couple times offensively, and we just kind of left runners on base, and we came up with some big hits too, but really chances to put that game way out of reach. Every time we started kind of getting a nice lead, we would somehow, you know, put 2 or 3 guys on base and make it interesting. Those are, you can't keep doing that and living dangerously. You're going to get burned at some point in time. So that's something we addressed. You know, the 9th inning was a debacle. That's something that we addressed a little bit in there. On you have a freshman making his debut right there and has a chance to get 1 pitch, 1 out, and we don't execute a pop-up communication well, and you know, gave up some contact after that and some runs, but a good thing for Cooper Klauser, another freshman making his debut, made a heck of a throw there on a good block ball, and they tried to advance, and he gunned him down at second. So that was huge, really just getting that first out of that inning and trying to slow the momentum down, so we didn't have to get yet another arm up in the bullpen that would have been unnecessary. So sloppy win, but nonetheless a win.
Is there any kind of silver lining with getting those freshmen in a low pressure situation? I know they made mistakes, but is there any kind of, all right, they're freshmen, they're going to make those mistakes. I better run it that now than in a couple of years? Yeah,
I mean, I think, you know, I thought the freshmen did outstanding. I thought Austin came in, like I said, had 1 pitch, 1 out, and you're thinking you're cruising, right? And then all of a sudden we clank it, and then the wheels start spinning up real fast. That to me was what was disappointing, is you got a kid in there that's going to be a heck of an arm for us moving forward, to a chance to give him some confidence right out of the gates, and we botch it, you know, and that's the mental part of baseball that doesn't seem like that big a deal. Bloom, we get over it. No, it is a big deal for that kid, and it's a big deal for the program. That's just that's a routine, you know, pop-up communication we work on every day, and that play's got to be made. And he maybe settles in and goes 3 up, 3 down, and starts feeling himself a little bit and confident, and then, you know, who knows? But you know, now it's I thought he threw the ball outstanding, and then Cooper Klauser made the debut with him. They kind of came out of the pen together, and you know, 1 inning he caught great, and like I said, arguably a huge play there in the 9th inning for a 6-run game. So. You know, we kind of took a sigh of relief when he threw that kid out, and again, kind of calmed the waters there for a little bit.
I feel like your bullpen was able to kind of react to getting a couple base runners and then being able to escape the ending with a couple of zeros on the scoreboard.
You know, good and bad. I think Fitzy did a great job coming in and putting the fire out there, but we pitched ourselves into unnecessary trouble a few times. You know, just weren't as sharp as I'd like us to see, and with things we got to get better on. JB was okay, wasn't as sharp as he's been in the past. Halvey, I mean, man, he had some electric stuff, but he you know, we got to continue to put pitches together and finish at bats, and not give up, you know, 0-2 to 3-2, and then ultimately a walk or hit batter. Those things, you know, Halvey knows, and he'll get better on that. I'm not worried about those 2 guys, but just want to make sure we're not getting complacent on that type of stuff, and continuing to teach and get them better.
You guys lost your top 7 home run hitters from last season. Today you hit 4. What do you think that says about the new guys and kind of the maybe depth of this unit?
You know, we're going to lose home run hitters after this year too. It's just part of the program. I mean, we're the ballpark we play in, and we're gonna hit some homers, and just keep teaching on approach and what we're trying to do with the baseball. And you know, these guys have stepped in, and hopefully we start finding our rhythm and groove offensively a little bit more as we keep going. Again, mixing guys in there. Ball was flying a little bit more today with the day game than it was last night. You know, but just keep continuing to mix guys in there and see who catches fire and ultimately earns the majority of playing time.
What does a win like this tell you about the team's identity, and what are some possible
I think a little too early to identity to define that just yet. We're still figuring ourselves out. I think, but I do stress the importance of staying mentally locked in through 9 innings, and that was a big topic today after this game. We just can't have mental letdowns. Like I said, 2-out finishes. Offensively, again, not giving away at bats there when we had chances to really put that game to bed. And then, like I said, the 9th inning, I'm not trying to dwell on the negatives, but the 9th inning, that can't happen. We got to be better than that. So, but on the flip side, guys that will bounce back and will keep putting pressure on you. I think that's one big positive. Again, the base running was great today. Got some stolen bases to get things going, and base runners. I think that was the big positive on the offensive side. We just had a ton of base runners. We just continue to cash them in would be great.
You guys were executing on the base pass very well, stolen bases, executing hitting runs. How have you seen your players kind of buy into that mentality these past 2 games?
We know that's going to be a big part of winning baseball games. It is not always going to out-pitch somebody or out-hit somebody, but on the bases that can make a difference between a few runs a game and ultimately the difference in a win or loss. So that's something we have to be very, very good at and continue to remain diligent on. That we have to steal bases when we can. We did a very good job on down ball reads again today. Being aggressive but not overly aggressive. We run into outs. So continuing to stay on that is going to be important.
Coach, you mentioned yesterday about how taking balls in the zone is something you want to improve. Dom Smaldino was in here earlier, said he thought that you guys did that well today. What are your thoughts on that?
It was better. I mean, we punched out twice today, which is an improvement. Continuing to get our pitches to hit is going to be something again that we have emphasized in the past. We'll continue to do that. Making sure we get breaking balls up in the zone and not chase below and ready for the fastball. I mean, we're again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel and redefine how to hit. We're just trying to be good at the fundamentals of it.
How did you feel seeing Matt come out and be so aggressive, given it's been a minute since he's played in a real college baseball game like this?
It was cool. His first at bat in over a year, and he hits a homer to left. He was pretty fired up. I think all the boys in the dugout were fired up for him too. So big moment for him. I was happy for him, and I think the whole team was too.
Colin said he felt really good after going 81 pitches. What did you make of his longevity? What does that say about him going forward?
The 81 pitches is great. I'm glad we were able to lengthen him out there. We were comfortable going 80 with him, and so he was right pretty much at that mark. We need some more efficiency. Again, he was one of those guys that got 2 quick outs, and then there's a lot of unnecessary base runners. After getting 2 outs and kind of, I don't know if it was a mental letdown or just kind of lost it for a second, but just continue. That's the first time he's been out there in a long time too. So take the positive out of it. He threw the ball well. Got a lot of swing and miss on his fastball, which was great. But there's room to grow and room to build on that. So, but yeah, the workload was good. Again, a little more efficiency would have been great, but we'll take that as a step forward for him.
All the new faces on the team this year, what have you just seen from a chemistry standpoint these past 2 games?
The boys they're a tight knit team, and I think that's hopefully remain constant. My job again is to not allow these guys to get complacent and allow the fundamental things to be overlooked. And I said, I told him I didn't mean to put a wet blanket on the celebration in there, but at the end of the day, we got to get better at some stuff. That's not top to bottom. We have to get better at some things as we move on. And if I'm not going to point them out and remind them, then I'm not doing my job. So hopefully they take that with a grain of salt and understand what I'm trying to get at, and we keep building to become a better team.
Coach, the 4 homers, 5 stolen bases. I don't think you guys have been caught stealing yet so far this season. 8 walks as well. When the offense is clicking the way it is, how dangerous can you guys be?
Well, the biggest thing that we've been trying to emphasize is just base runners. Base runners equal chaos. If you got to get hit by a pitch, walk, base hits, whatever it takes to get on base. And when we have base runners, good things happen. So hopefully we can continue to pile up base runners and like I said, cash in when we can and take advantage of what we see offensively. And if we need to steal bases, if we're able to steal bases, we will. And if the right opportunities keep presenting themselves, we'll try to take advantage of the things that we do well.
You gave Cohen his first shot today in the lineup, got on base a lot, had a big throw out in the first inning. What did you make of his impact on the team right off the bat?
Yeah, it was big. He had back pick right there in the first to end the first inning. Had some really good quality at bats too. Did a great job. There's some things that, like everybody, things we got to clean up on him. But all in all, very pleased with what he did behind the dish today. So that was a big positive.
New was kind of maybe doing the dirty stuff yesterday, and today hit a grand slam. Kind of a little bit of both ends of the spectrum. How important is he to this team?
He's team captain for a reason. He's that guy that is extremely valuable for us. Dynamic player, like I say, can kind of has a lot of different ways he can beat you in his game. Defensively, he made a couple nice plays defensively as well today. Offensively, he can hit for average, hit for power, steal bases. He's just he's a complete package.
Coach, another two-hit game for Landon at the leadoff spot. How comfortable are you with him in that spot moving forward?
Very. Yeah, he's a very good pure hitter. Puts together a very good at bats. I like him there. He's a tough kid to get out to lead off a game, and the more at bats I can continue to get him up top there, the better.
What does that do for you, setting the lineup where you're able to move around 2 through 9, but one's kind of locked in, and you never really are going to have to worry about landing up top?
It's I wouldn't say set in stone there, because there might be some times where maybe we put him in more of an RBI position, but that's what's so important for our guys at the bottom of the lineup to get on base for him. PJ's been doing a really good job down there. Cohen today got on base several times. I don't know how many times he got on base, but 3 walks and a hit, so 4 times. Longo was on base, I think 4 or 5 times today as well. So just continuing to have guys on base when he comes up, that's what that bottom of the lineup is extremely important. This isn't one of those ninth hitter type deals. It's like, no, we have guys down there that can get on base for a reason and can hit down there for a reason. So it lengthens out our lineup. B, it sets the table for the top in a lot of scenarios.
With all the depth that you have, were there any guys today that you want to see more of Tamani, maybe you've only got to see for an inning or two?
From a pitching standpoint?
From both batting and pitching.
There was, we've gotten a lot of guys in the game today and gotten their feet wet today and yesterday. We'll kind of look at who we think is going to be the best matchups tomorrow, facing their Sunday guy. From an offensive standpoint, obviously on the mound, we're going to go with Easton Barrett and see how long he can get us, and then we have plenty of arms behind him still. Jaden Alba and Taylor Penn, Buxton. We got plenty of arms behind him. Schaaf will be able to come back tomorrow, so we should be in pretty decent shape.
Going back to what you said about Collins' first start in a while, were you telling him anything to help him stay focused throughout the game?
No, he's a kid that when he's pitching, he's kind of in the zone. I don't say much to him other than actually I didn't say anything to him today, to be honest. I just let him do his thing. If there's something that needs to be said, I will. But he knows what he's doing out there. He and Jeremy have a good relationship and rapport. What's going on? Jeremy has a good feel for him. But he's a kid that doesn't need a whole lot said to him other than some. He doesn't. I don't think he wants a whole lot of pat on the backs. He likes more kick him in the behind from time to time. He'd rather have that approach, I think. So if he needs it, I'll make sure to give it to him. But right now he doesn't.
Coach, in the bottom of the third, Beckett squared around a bunt, allowing the third baseman to shed in, and then both runners advance to second and third, then making the floodgates come open. How important is it to make those decisions that don't appear on the stat sheet to help set your team up?
Well, I mean, there's that was a pitch that we if it was a good pitch to bunt, he would have bunted, and if not, then we got the runners in motion behind him. So if there was a situation that they were on green light, but if he gets that bunt down and runners are in motion, then it's really chaotic, right? But if ball is out of the zone. So, but yeah, those little things that are helpful for us winning. If we can continue to stretch and get free 90 feet, here and there, those are the difference in a lot of games.
Dom Smaldino was just in here. He said he thinks no matter the lineup, ASU's offense will be able to swing with the best of them. Is that kind of something you agree with, or you need to see more?
As long as we stick to our approach, yeah. But I mean, we're gonna continue to face good arms as the season moves on. And again, we're very early in this thing. I'm not. I'm happy, not satisfied. After 2 games, it's like, yeah, great to be 2-0, but there's a lot of things, like I said, that we need to clean up. Offensive standpoint, pitching standpoint, defensively, there's things we got to get better at, and I think. Yes, the talent is there to be able to swing with anybody, but we have to stay disciplined to our approach.
Coach, you brought up Sean Patrick to get you guys out of that jam in 6th inning, 3 pitches, 2 strikes. How important is the success of one of your captains moving forward?
That's awesome. He's Fitzy knows his role. And there's going to be a lot of times where he comes in there and gets a lot more than one hitter out. We'll keep him in there for. An extended period of time at times. But today, the role called for him to get 1 out right there, and against a tough lefty that had been swinging it pretty good, and he came in and pounded the zone 3 times, got him out, and said, "Okay, great job. Get ready tomorrow, because you're probably right back in there at some point tomorrow." So, but don't be surprised if I end up lengthening him out an inning or 2. He's very capable of getting both right-handers and left-handers out. So. Situation dictates it where we need him to just keep going, he'll keep going. So I'm not worried about Fitzy.
Over time here, how have you seen wins like these, when you say you have to not satisfied, how have you seen you grow as a coach and how you handle the locker room in games like these?
It can be delicate at times, if I'm being honest. That like I said, I was trying not to throw a big wet blanket on these guys after a win. Always celebrate a win, but on the same token, they got to understand that we got room to grow and get better, so not to get complacent. And that's kind of what I saw a little bit throughout this game at times, was a little bit of complacency. So these are the teams that can bite you if you're not ready to come and play. And if we think they're going to roll over tomorrow, we're sorely mistaken on that, because that team's an older team. They're mentally tough. Again, they're well coached. So we got to come ready to play tomorrow, and I don't want them to make sure they understand that just because we got the first 2 doesn't mean tomorrow's given. We got to show up ready to play again tomorrow.